What's going on, everyone? Today, joining me is Darius Mafi, a man that we're hunting down every bantamweight that you could find in the country, coming for every single one. He couldn't find one in England or the UK, so he went overseas and he's found someone in Italy to fight him next weekend on Venator. Obviously, just spoke a little bit about it then, but the upcoming fight, how are you feeling for it, buddy?
Feel great, mate. I've been working hard for a bit, so even though it's what some people might say late notice, I've just been ready, mate. So everyone knows that I've been knocking on doors for fights. So as you said, I've been knocking on doors in this country. Nobody seemed to want it. So, well, out of those guys, and so I've had to go to another one. We've got it sorted in Italy, and off I go to Rome on Gladiator.
There you go. And as well, in terms of having to struggle to get these matchups, I know it's been a problem pretty much since you turned pro. Obviously, now you're wanting to fight these upper competition and show that you are one of the best that you'll find in the country. And with this opportunity, obviously, it's a time to show that you're one of the best, even a chance to start building towards being one of the best you'll find in Europe. But to have these sort of opportunities and have to go so far to such depths to get them as a fighter, what's that sort of like balancing all of that uncertainty alongside being a fighter?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it is a bit stressful. Like the one thing when you're on like these shows like your UFCs, your Cage Warriors, Bellators, they're like, you're fighting this guy, do you want to fight him or not? Where when you're a bit out in the sticks, like trying to get a fight to get back onto one of those shows, or you're in between, you're having to fight domestically like the UK guys. So with no one taking the fight, I was getting sort of sick of like, sometimes I'd have to fight a late replacement because people pulling out on the day, people pulling out on the week, and all these sort of things, people not taking fights, going through their coach, going through their manager, and basically ducking fights like that. So I was like, I've had enough of this, so I'll put it public. So nobody can, because there was even a page trying to slag me on Instagram, that only cans. They were trying to slag me. And I'm quite thick-skinned. I'm not asked like about a lot of things, but it's like you're just slagging me, but at the same time you're not slagging people not taking fights. I had to fight. I've done my camp. I've showed up to fight. The guy's pulling out on the day and all these, so it was getting frustrating. So I put it out in the open. Do you want to fight? For example, like Faisal Malik, do you want to fight? Because I'm ready to fight. You're my weight. You're ranked above me. You've got a better record on paper than me, so why can't we make this fight? And then they have to answer, or if they don't answer, it shows, that there's your answer right there if they don't answer. So in the end, it did start to get frustrating because you're training hard, you're really motivated, but without that name on paper, you're always a bit in limbo. So to finally get a fight, and especially to go to Rome, it's like I said, something out of Gladiator or something. So I love to go to another guy's backyard, everyone booing me, everyone against me, and then I just go out there and steamroll him.
Yeah, and obviously for this fight, I'm sure the fans aren't going to be supporting you too much in this one. They're going to want the home fighter to win, and you are sort of going over there looking to cause an upset for those fans as well. In terms of being able to go over there and be that sort of figure that the fans, they're not going to like you, they're going to be booing. What's that sort of like as a fact to get to experience that alongside obviously having the cheers there for you as well occasionally?
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for that. It just gives me a buzz, that sort of thing. Go there, everyone's against you, or it's almost like, as stupid as it sounds like back in the day, like all his mates are behind him, to fight with you. And then you go down there and you just deal with them. It's the same sort of thing. You go in there, everyone's against you, proper partisan, booing against you, and you get to go out there and perform. And I just get a buzz off that, me. Yeah. Sorry, I missed the other part of the question. What was it? Just what's it like going there with him, having fans and that?
Yeah, sort of being there and knowing that sort of everyone's going to sort of be against you a little bit on the night.
Yeah, just that really. I enjoy it, to be fair. It excites me. It's another experience, isn't it?
Yeah, and then sort of taking a look at this fight and then obviously getting that momentum back and start building onto that. In terms of the sort of landscape for this year, what are the sort of goals in terms of what you're looking to do this year?
I want to get on the big shows. By the end of the year, I want to be on big shows, talking like, you know, any of the top three. You've got UFC, Bellator, PFL. If I can get back to PFL, I had a good time on PFL. The whole process up to it was great. You know, the week of the thing. Obviously, I had 10 days. Like, it's not ideal, but it is what it is. You're fighting world-class operators on that show. You know, I'd basically gone from 3 guys at pro that were basically puddings that had stepped in on late. They were late notice guys. You know, they turned up, they tried to fight, they weren't my level. Then I fought that Brazilian who's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, beat him. So it was like one professional fight to then jump to that stage. But I know I can get back on there. I can get, like, I felt the level of that and I could hang with that level. But you can't make an inexperienced error at that level. You get punished. You might get away with it domestically. You might empty the tank trying to finish a guy and he's still there in domestic level and you've gassed and he's coming back onto you and he don't finish you. Then you come back and get him later. But at the top level, if you did that in the UFC, PFLs, Bellator against world-class fighters, they'll finish you. They'll get rid of you. Even if you've done 2 amazing rounds and you're tired in the third, they'll finish you in that third. So I learned that, but I also learned that I can compete at that level. So I know I can get back to that level and I can win at that level. So that's my goals for this year.
Yeah, and then just one of the few final things for myself, obviously, in terms of getting this win here and knowing what people from Venator can go on to do. Obviously, a lot of the fighters there have jumped to the UFC before and done all these things. With a win here, is Venator promotion you want to keep fighting on, or is it simply just if there's someone who wants to fight you at this moment in time, you're ready to take it?
I'm ready to take it. Like, there's whatever decent shows, they got good fight, let's get a fight going. Like, if Venator's got fights, I'll go fight Venator. If Mars has fights, get me on a spaceship, I'll go there and I'll fight somebody. It does not matter to me.
Yeah, and then as well, in terms of sort of looking at these Venator fans, I'm sure they may not have heard the name Darius Mafi yet, and there'll be others that are still waiting to hear it. But what is it that they can expect to see from yourself come fight night?
Well, for this one, you know, usually in the past, I'd be like, you know, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to slam him, I'm going to smash on him and all these things. This fight, you're going to see a mature fighter. You're going to see a mature fighter, a mature performance. That's all I've got to say.
But there you go. That's everything from myself. Obviously, Darius Mafi, be ready to see him fight night next week. He's been itching to get in there. It didn't matter who it was, where it was. He's going to be there. Don't miss it on the UFC Fight Pass. But I appreciate your time today, buddy. Thank you very much.
Take care. Appreciate that.
You too, buddy. Thank you very much.